Yes, Judges.
Hello, Dan. How you doing? You all
What are you
right?
up to, bro?
I'm actually watching the football, mate. This Surfshark VPN is a lifesaver, mate. You can watch the football with a dodgy Wi-Fi, even at the Emirates when you've got a big crowd there and everything like that, watching the football. Unbelievable.
Easy to set up? Well, it must be if you've done it, mate.
Oh, very, very funny. Even abroad you can watch all your favourite programmes. It's like being at home, mate.
And that's exactly what you guys can do too. Click the link in the description for Surfshark VPN. Yes, people. I've just put the phone down for me, Stenders. They need a couple of new actors. Phil and Grant aren't about anymore. They've got me and Judges involved. We've got the accents and everything. Listen, make sure you do me a favor. Click on the pinned comment, Surfshark VPN. Make sure you get involved in this, guys. Please do click it. It's absolutely fantastic. So please make sure that you sort yourself out with it. A lot of people talking about this at the moment. Me and Judges sorted it out. Expressions is talking about it. Troops is talking about it. So make sure that you guys do as well. Big up to my panel tonight, man. I've got Roms with me. I've got Dan United with me from work in his Hawaiian shirt. And I've got Judge Mo, who everyone's talking about at the moment. If you have not seen it already, please go and watch Judge Mo's absolute meltdown on Wednesday night. It was the best watch-along I have ever seen in the history of watch-alongs. Mo, I love you so much, but it was the best reaction I've ever seen in my life. Make sure, if you're not already, Footy Judge Mo, subscribe and go and watch and just enjoy. That's all I will say. How are you now, Mo, after the dust has settled?
I'm upset. I'm so upset. You have no idea. I'll get cooked everywhere I go, bro. There's a whole show waiting for me. There are 6 people waiting for me just to cook me, bro. I upset a lot of people, but that means I did my job as a neutral. Everybody's upset with me. So I did my job, you know what I mean? But I enjoyed that watch along, to be honest. My wife almost canceled halfway through. She almost she texted me and she's like, bro, you're not that young, blood pressure. But to be honest, this is how just I watch. To be honest, this is how I watch all the games. Like if you I just watch, even like, of course, with not that passion because it's not my team. But when I watch, for example, Man United play somebody, Man City play somebody, Liverpool, I have the same feelings. I'm just very passionate about watching football.
I loved him, man. Do you know what I love the most? Go on,
sorry to cut you down, but I remember you did a watch along. I think it was United versus someone. Luton, that's it. And you were going mad at the Luton.
I went crazy on the Luton players because they're different chances. I was mad, so mad that Luton, because I said I want Man United to lose this game.
Do you know what it is? When I was watching that watch along, I wanted Inter to go through because I hate Atleti. I don't know if you remember the year after we won the Champions League, they were the ones to knock us out. I don't really like the way they play football. But I was kind of like, I kind of want Inter to lose so I can keep seeing this entertaining Mo. So I was a bit,
You would have seen way more if we won on penalties. But you let me down. Imagine the next watch along. Imagine Inter's next watch along. But they deprived people from the entertainment. But
it was incredible. And like Hossam and Staffy ringing you, it's just cruel, man. It was cruel. You'll have to get them back.
Bro, Hossam Staffy, North Side, Lee Gunner, Troops Army, Terry.
Me as well. I had to.
Hamza, Dan Pot sent me a message. That's just like, and I played it live. Bro, everyone. It
was unbelievable, man. It was unbelievable. I was watching that game thinking, wow, I do not want the winners of this game in the draw. And we didn't get them. We are going to talk about that first before we come to the FA Cup action. Let me start with you, Mo, actually. I know, obviously, you don't care now. You're out.
I do.
Okay, talk to me.
I want the world to burn. No, this is it.
Yes, you do.
I want the world to burn.
And what do you want to happen?
This is it. I want Arsenal to win the Champions League so the world can burn down, so the internet will break down, so people will actually see the real... If you guys hate Arsenal fans or Liverpool, Man United, all Man United fans, Man City fans, if these guys win Champions League, the next 10 years, you will never hear the end of it. And I just want to live and see the world burn. I just want Arsenal to win the Champions League now. This is it.
I love it, man. I love it. And I don't know how people are going to live if Arsenal win the Premier League or the Champions League, because
man. Oh my God. Oh.
Bro, I've never seen so many hate-alongs for a game in all my life. I literally on YouTube there was about 12 to 15 hate-alongs for Arsenal Porto. I'm like, we must be the most relevant team in the world right now. Like, what is happening here? This is absolutely crazy.
You know what it is, Dan? Where that one trophy eludes your history, I feel like that's what us rival fans cling on to, because I know you've got something that none of us have in the Invincible season, so you can always say is yours gold. That's the thing you hold on to. But that's the thing we hold on to, because our rebuttal is you say is yours goals, we say the other champions. Do you know what I mean? That's just how it goes.
The same with us, Roms. It was the same with us with you, wasn't it? With the Premier League.
Exactly, for the Premier League. Exactly. For so long.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's mad, bro. It's mad. Dan, let me come to you, man. Bayern Munich, Arsenal have drawn them. To be fair, bro, it's like a team you know because you played them. And when you played them, I have to say, as much as we banter United, I weren't that impressed with Bayern Munich, bruv. And I don't know if Man United were either. Like, they did. I don't. We looked and thought, oh, wow. Like, the reason that you lost them was your goalkeeper was pants. Let's be real.
Yeah, well.
Like, I don't know. I look at it defensively, and I think we can get at them. They've got players that can hurt us. Harry Kane's the obvious one. Obviously, Musiala is a top talent. They've got Coleman. They've got Gnabry. They've got Sane.
They've got Eric Dyer, mate.
Whoa.
Need I say more? They got Eric Dyer.
I know from Meccano, who has not been great. Like, do you see this as an okay draw for Arsenal? Could it have been worse for Arsenal? Like, where are you at?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, we all remember the Arsenal Munich game in the Champions League a few years ago. Football's moved on a lot since then. You've moved on a lot since then, and I think Bayern Munich have, as we all know, regressed a lot since then. So, I think it's a really good draw for you, and I think there's a couple of factors, isn't it? Everyone's going to be clinging on to the return of Harry Kane, coming back to Arsenal. You know, massive rivals with Spurs. So I think you guys are set up, you know, nicely to play them. I saw so much hate about, you know, playing Porto and you should have smashed them. I've been there with Porto. Porto knocked us out when Jose was there. Portuguese teams can be you know, really, really tough, and they know how to play the game, and they know how to slow the game down as well. So I think go for it. This is a massive draw. I think out of all the teams there, they're one of the ones, if I was Arsenal, I'd have probably wanted. You know, as we say, there's no shock that the world seems to be stunned at how bad Bayern Munich have been this season. Leverkusen have absolutely dominated over there. So if there's a time to play Bayern Munich, I think this season is it. You know, this is the season you want to play them. A lot of pressure going in, I think, on Munich. The fans demand over there. You know, they're already so disappointed in what they've seen this season. So I think you guys go in there with a little bit of pressure lifted, if anything. I think.
You know what? Though, yeah, because it's chiming. I agree with you. I do think, as much as Bayern have the heritage, I do favour Arsenal to go through. However, I almost feel that because the league, look, it's not 100% over, but Bayern Leverkusen are most likely going to win. That 10-point gap is a lot to close with about nine games left, I think. But I think that could also be a disadvantage for Arsenal, that they're going to put all their eggs in the Champions League basket. And then you've also got a manager in Tommy Tuchel, which, whether you rate him or not, me personally, I don't rate him. He won the Champions League with Chelsea in that team. So he has to know how it's not like he's a novice to the competitions. He's got a Champions League under his belt. He is a cup manager. He is. Even Chelsea in his run against us, I know we beat them that season on penalties both games, but even if you look at the games in isolation, they were both on penalties. So he is hard to beat in knockout competition. But I just feel this Bayern Munich team has a great subplot as well. Arsenal ending Harry Kane's first season, not winning a trophy, but then Harry Kane on the reverse could end Arsenal's Champions League campaign. I think it's a very interesting tie. I do favour Arsenal, but it won't be easy at all. Because again, knockout competition, you don't have to play well. Like, look, I don't want to bring Mo's team into it again. Inter were far better than Atletico both legs, but Atletico go through. So Champions League's not about being a better team; it's about moments. So Arsenal can play better than them over the 180 minutes. But if Bayern Munich just switch it on or have that 20 minutes flurry where they get quite a few goals, the game could be done. So I think it's a very interesting time, man. Very interesting.
Oh, it is, man. Like 100%. Mo, people are coming for you, man. Big up to Mike. Big up to Michael. Big up Potts and the outer Milan guy in the bottom right. I mean, this is getting cruel. It's becoming bullying now, Mo. Do you know what I'm saying? This is actually becoming bullying now. Listen, you're still going to win the league, man. Let me tell you that. Mo, what did you make of the draw? Not just Arsenal, but in general. Like, how do you see this one going now?
To be honest, when I looked at the draw, so I woke up for the draw to eat like suhoor and stuff before the fasting thing. And I know everyone's talking about that side of the draw, and Arsenal, Bayern, Man City, and Real Madrid. And I looked at the other side and I said, it can go both ways. It can be like this might be Mbappe's year or Simeone's year. This can be Mbappe or Simeone's year. It can be Mbappe versus Real Madrid in the final. This is how I looked at it. Yes, we're all gonna see the Bayern Arsenal game and the Real Madrid, but these are like 50-50 ties, both of them. But the other side, one of these teams can win the Champions League. Just imagine Barcelona, how bad they are, they can win the Champions League. PSG last season of Mbappe. I think these stories are better than Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, or Man City. Only Arsenal winning the Champions League will top the stories of Mbappe winning it or Simeone finally winning it if he reaches the final for the third time. Regarding the Arsenal game, I actually think people again think that Arsenal are the better team than Bayern Munich. You can be the better team because we watch the Premier League. All of us watch the Premier League more than anything else, including myself. But Bayern Munich has Thomas Tuchel. Bayern Munich have experienced player in there. Thomas Muller have been playing Champions League football every year since 2008 and 9, right? Joshua Kimmich, Manuel Neuer, you know what I mean? Jamal Musiala, Davis won a Champions League, Goretzka won a Champions League, you know what I mean? This is a different side when you face them in the Champions League. We saw them against Lazio, 1-0 behind. It didn't matter if they play well or not. They just smashed them 3-0. I think Arsenal have to be careful. I think Arsenal are the underdog on that side of the draw. I know the bookies, because we only watch the bookies that do the English side of the game, they put Arsenal as second favorites for the tournament. But I don't think Arsenal are favorites for this. Like, because I just went to 5 websites now while Rams was talking. Arsenal are second favorites because they are on that side of the draw behind Man City, which is crazy to me. If you're thinking that Arsenal are better than Real Madrid or Arsenal are favorites again in Bayern Munich with Thomas Tuchel, who had 2 finals under his belt and a Champions League, I think it's crazy. The guy reached the final with PSG and won it with Chelsea, being the underdog the whole tournament with Chelsea. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
facts.
If someone is going to do it against a good Arsenal team, however, I agree with Dan, times have changed. This Arsenal team isn't the Arsenal team to lose with a margin of 2 or 3 or 4 goals. It's not that. It's going to be close. This Arsenal team with that defense is a different like monster than the one like back in the days. It used to be like this attacking team. This team is way more composed in the back. So I don't think a Saliba and a Gabriel and a Rice in front of them will concede like that many goals. It's not going to be 10-2. Not even close. It's going to be a 1-goal margin, I believe, in both legs, by the way.
Well, I was just on Said's channel in the chat with Man United. Oh, this is funny. Arsenal going to get 4s and 5s past them again. It's a battering. I just don't see that, and I think like Saliba, Rice, and Gabriel are the reason as to why I don't think that will happen. But I have to say, and like Dan, I'll come to you with this one, man. I think Atletico Madrid are getting to the final of the Champions League. Because I just think when I see Inter Milan as ones I did not want as dark horses, I look at how they got the job done. They didn't have to be amazing. And I don't think they're going to have to be amazing against Dortmund, PSG, or Barcelona, whoever wins that game. That then gets them to the final. And I think that Diego Simeone can just shithouse them to the final. And I just see them in the final now. I don't know who with. Hopefully it's us. But, you know, we got a tough route to get there, man. But I just see them getting to the final now, man.
Yeah, I mean, they've got it in them, haven't they? Let's be honest. This is a manager that seems to find answers. And you talk about Simeone is a fantastic manager. I absolutely adore the bloke. I love him. I think he's incredible. But you talk about a manager that knows what it's like being the underdog and finds a way. And he doesn't care how his team is viewed either. Do you know what I mean? You go against teams, you see it's Pep against Real, so Pep against Ancelotti, and it's like who's who. Simeone doesn't care, and he will set his team up to go to war. And I think in the latter stages of a tournament, that is what gets you through the stages. You have to be willing to go to war. His players, they will die for him. You know, they will go out there and they will give absolutely everything. From a Manchester United fan who doesn't see that with his team, I watch teams like Atletico and I just think I'm mesmerised. So it's not always about style either with Simeone. I think we can all agree with that. It's not always about style. It's just about getting the job done. And I think a lot of managers lack that nowadays, that characteristic.
Dan, do you want me to even strengthen what you're saying even more? Right? I've watched the Fleck. I'm not going to say I watch them week in, week out, but I've watched a lot of their Liga games a good amount of times this season. And do you know where I have to rate Simeone? You know, there's this notion that he's very defensive, terrorist football. He did that against Inter in both games. But actually in the league, he's been quite open, expansive. That's why I actually have to give him credit, because he's adapted to the competition. He's like, you know what? Inter are actually better than us, man for man. I think Mo could correct me. They scored the most goals in Europe out of any team this season. So I actually have to commend him for going into Champions League, recognizing what he's up against. You know what? I'm going to revert back to type. Because I wouldn't even just say this season. I'd even say back end of last season as well. They've actually been playing a more of a attractive brand. So I actually agree with you, Dan. I actually believe if Arsenal get to the final, I do believe you beat Inter, but I think Madrid or City will be a step too far. But semi-final in your first season is commendable. But let's say if you were to beat a Bayern or then City or Madrid, and you get to the final and you meet Atletico there, I almost think that's worse for you, Dan, because I agree. I think Arsenal would fare better over 2 games against Atletico than that one-off, because they're to score first and then just sit behind the ball. And the thing is, there's a saying, third time lucky. He's been to 2 Champions League finals, so it's almost like it's inevitable for him to win the next time he's in the final. So I think if that's the final, Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid, I think Arsenal fans would rather play them over 2 games than 1. I just think Simeone will do the
You're
shit.
so right there, Rams, as well. He does adapt. He does, doesn't he? He adapts to what is in front of him. Whereas a lot of managers will go out there and they will say, "This is our style. You break us down. You know, you try and stop us." He is completely different. And his scouting system must be incredible. Do you know what I mean? His scouting system must be incredible for that. I love him. I think he's great.
I've always rated him, and people said he's washed and I wouldn't want him at my club and all this stuff. And I'm like, mate, the guy is ridiculous. Like, I'm just thinking now, like Arteta and Simeone on a touchline together, that is going to be hot, man. I tell you, that's going to get.
We've got to have him in the Prem. We've got to have him in the Prem at some point. We've got to.
Do you know what it is, Dan? I just clocked. I'm saying Dan, but then I could have just both because you're both Dan. But I liked Simeone until they played us the season we won the league, actually, because they got a 1-0 lead at their ground. I think Saul scored. Then they come to Anfield and I remember we were bombarding them for 90 minutes. And then extra time, they just got that goal and then they got another one. They literally hit us on the counter twice. And I was like, this guy, I hate the way he plays, but I've got to respect it. He just knows what to do. So he's a nightmare, man. He's a nightmare.
He is a nightmare, man. 100%. Mo, let me come to you, bro. Man City, Real Madrid. What a draw. Like, when they come out together, I thought to myself, that's what I wanted to see, man. Like, that is what I wanted to see. And, how do you see this one going, mate?
Man City are lucky, bro. Why they are playing the second leg at home again? I'm being serious, bro. What is this?
Yeah.
If I speak.
Very lucky, bro. They face Copenhagen and then in the draw, you get Real Madrid, tough and everything. But come on, like, you play the second leg at home. Even if you play Arsenal or Bayern Munich, you play the second leg at home. Come on. Is that rigged or what? Like, are we serious here? Like, come on. Like, listen, we see everything. We'll see Mbappe versus Haaland, and we can see Mbappe. We'll see Haaland versus Vini Jr. We'll see Man City versus Real Madrid again, and we can see at the end Mbappe versus Haaland or Mbappe versus Real Madrid. I think it favors Mbappe to be, but that tie. I don't think Man City are favorites. If you watch both teams in the league, and if you watch both teams this year, the only thing that favors Man City is that they're playing the second leg at home. The only 2 losses that Real Madrid were handed were against Atletico Madrid this season, and we know how Atletico Madrid are playing football. You know what I mean? Real Madrid have a lot of injuries, but for somehow they win games, and Real Madrid have this thing about him is that players evolve within 1 year. Like, look at Tchouaméni, Camavinga, they evolve. Rodrigo. Every year they're evolving. They don't need a lot. Like, if you watch Tchouaméni this year, if you watch Camavinga, you think these guys have been playing for 4 years at Real Madrid. But they just evolve
how adaptable
yearly.
They are, Mo, as well. How adaptable those 2 players are, where they've played for their team this season.
Left back, central midfielder. Freaking Camavinga played left wing when Vini Jr. played up top. It's how Ancelotti utilizes his players. Yes, they have a lot of injuries. Militao is injured, David Alaba is injured, but they find a way. This is Real Madrid, you know what I mean? They find a way. Courtois is injured as well, and I think the only thing is that they played the second leg at Manchester City. I wanted to see the other way. I wanted to see Man City go to Madrid to play the second leg, but it is what it is. But I think that side of the drive, if Man City reach the final, unless it's against Atletico Madrid, it's going to be tough for anybody else to beat them, to be honest with you. But again, we'll see. It's UEFA Lonia, so Barcelona as well on the other side. We've heard it all years, and now we'll see it. Barcelona at their weakest time in the recent history, they get this draw. You know what I mean?
You know,
they avoid Real Madrid, they avoid Arsenal, they avoid Man City. Are we kidding? Are we kidding ourselves here?
Do you know why this draw?
I'm all about these conspiracy theories in Champions League. I love this game.
I'm exactly the same.
No, I love this game since I was like 12 years old. I love this game.
Same.
Like this conspiracy theories about Champions League. I love it.
But you know why this is interesting as well? Because I think City haven't lost at home in Europe. I don't even know the record, but I think someone was saying it's been like 30 plus games unbeaten at home in Europe. But then Real Madrid haven't lost at home this season at all. I think they've got about 3 or 4 draws and the rest have been wins. So it's going to be very interesting. But like Mo said, Real Madrid just find a way, man. And they don't have to play. But City have actually played better than them, not even just last season. Even the year we got to the final and played Madrid, City were all over them both legs. But like I said earlier, they had a little spell, not even a little spell, let's say a 3-minute spell at the end of the game. Rodrigo straight away, and do you get it? Next thing you know, you're out of the competition. Real Madrid don't have to play well. And that's why I was saying to anyone that faces Madrid, yes, they're not as strong this season. Also, there's a notion that Joselu starts. He doesn't. It's Vinny and Bellingham. They both play in the 2 sometimes. So that notion Joselu starts, it's not true. But they're not as strong as they once were. But if we're being honest, Madrid weren't even that strong this season. We played them. From my opinion, battered them that final. They win the game. They just have that. They just have that know-how. But one thing I will say is, I'm praying for our Arsenal Man City semi-final, because what that will do to both teams to juggle the league and playing each other, going ahead of each other.
You know what, Roms? I want Liverpool and City to win this weekend, so you get each other in the semis of the FA Cup. That's what I'm now praying.
That's the one I'm
Sorry, Dan.
If you play each other in the semis, that's 2 games to think about. And it'll be either side of a Premier League fixture. The FA Cup one against City, it'll just be that one-off, do you know what I mean? And you get like that break where Europe's sandwiched in between the fixtures, do you know what I mean? So I'm praying for Arsenal and City to both win, to be fair.
Yeah, it's mad. Let me read out this, like Dan will know this because it was in the group chat, right? But we're in. Look at the possible fixtures of Arsenal, right? So Man City, we obviously got next. Then we've got Luton at home, which most people would say is favourable. Then we've got Brighton away, right? Then we have Bayern Munich at home. The good thing about that, by the way, that for those that don't know, is that the Bayern Munich fans won't be in the Emirates for the first leg. So it's all Arsenal
Why is that?
fans. So Bayern Munich Bayern Munich player through a Bayern Munich fan threw a flare at a Lazio player, and they've basically banned them from their first or their next away game, which is us now. So there'll be no away fans at Bayern Munich. Trust me, they'll be there, but they won't be in the ground. They'll be all around the ground.
Does that mean can you fill the empty space then? So can you fill literally 60,000?
Literally, it'll be 100% crowd at Arsenal.
Isn't that bullshit,
crazy.
to be honest?
It is bullshit, really, when you think about
Find
it.
them, bro. Find that fan and ban him, bro. Like, come on. It ruins the game.
It was probably Balotelli. He'll understand. He's the one who shut the
Probably, man. So then we have Bayern Munich, and then we have Aston Villa at home. Now, a lot of people say that's tough, but actually, I'd rather be at a home game in the middle of Bayern than I go away and travel, right? Then we've got Bayern again. But then we've got Chelsea, because that's been rearranged game. We're supposed to have this weekend. That'll be rearranged for then. And then Spurs away. And then we've got Real Madrid or Man City, if we get through Bayern. Then Bournemouth at home. Then Real Madrid or Man City. And then Old Trafford, Man United. And then we got Wolves and Everton. It's going to be unbelievable, April and May, if we get through.
This is what you wanted, though, Dan. This is what Arsenal fans want. You want to be competing
for, man.
Yeah, I'd pay. I'd give anything. I'd give up my marriage and all sorts to have that sort of problem. Jesus Christ.
Daniel, don't say that, Daniel. What's going on?
No, she's at home, mate. Don't worry, I can get away with it tonight.
Yeah, you're away from home. I tell you, man, it is mad. Like it really is. And you know, like I'm sitting there now. Liverpool are praying Man City and Arsenal in that semis. They're praying for it, but let's just make sure we get through Bayern Munich first, man. But
Hold
yeah,
on.
horrible.
Hold on. Sorry. Roms, you don't care if Arsenal or Man City win the Champions League at all?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
City, Arsenal, I do. So if Arsenal went to the final, I'd then want them to lose. But City, I'm just not that bothered, Mo. Like,
Really?
I'm not that bothered if City got to the final, because it's not like, no disrespect, I'm Dan United fan. It's not like I'm holding out for a fifth spot or I need the coefficient to be good. Like, I don't really care. I don't want Arsenal winning it because that's the one thing we can banter them about. But if City got to the final, not to be rude, and this shows they still got a big part. They've got a big way to go. I just don't really care about Man City's success. Yes, they've ruined my club the last few years, but it will mean more, it will hurt more if Arsenal won it as opposed to City. Plus, they've already got one now. But yeah, I want Arsenal.
Another treble on the line, bro. Can you imagine back-to-back treble?
I hear you, but I think we win the FA Cup, man. So I think that treble,
all right then.
That treble won't be happening. That's how I feel about it.
Rob,
My point is back-to-back treble is carry people. Like even as an Inter fan, right? Back-to-back treble is just a scary thing because I don't think it will ever be done ever again.
I think they might do it as well.
Has anyone ever even done it before? No one's done it before, have they?
No, never. And it will be back-to-back treble with the 4-peat included. I think that will be the biggest achievement in the history of the sport.
Yeah, will. They'll go down as the best ever team, man.
Yeah. Ever play the sport ever. As long as I know, probably in the recent history, the only team that can do this is Liverpool in the 80s when they dominated Europe and locally in England, and the Milan team that won 3 times Champions League, but also they won the league at that time as well. But back-to-back treble with a 4-peat, I think that wipes out Klopp's achievements. Actually,
I don't know, man.
No. Then I think that wipes it out completely in that area. Because for Liverpool fans, and I'm not saying for Liverpool fans, you do you know what I mean? Like you as a Liverpool fan, you celebrate it yourself. Of course, you celebrate everything. Yeah. It means as people want to say, it means a lot to you, right?
Yeah.
But in the history within 10 years, remember,
it's going to be a
10 years from now, we are not going to remember 1 point behind title race, stuff like this. We aren't going to remember Jurgen Klopp battling Pep. We'll only remember the trebles and the 5 league titles and the 4 peats. We'll talk about that. Jurgen Klopp would be the guy that came to Liverpool, revived them, won a league title and Champions League, and left. In 10 years' time.
Do you not think it'll be tainted, though? Do you not think if this... I don't like talking about it too much, but do you not think it'll be tainted if the charges are correct? Do you not... We talk about Man City going down as one of the greatest teams ever. If these charges then come to fruition, because it's going to be coming in the near future, will that taint it? Will people go, yeah, they were great, they were amazing, but they didn't do it properly?
100%. Can I answer this, Dan?
No. Sorry. Before you go on, I'm going to ask a question just to counter this. Is Barcelona treble tainted? You know, they already have the charges against them, bribing referees. Man City built a team, a club. They didn't bribe referees. These guys are charged of bribing referees, and it's all over the media, but nobody talks about it. We still talk about Xavi, Iniesta, and we saw it with our eyes in the 2009 semi-final against Chelsea. But nobody remembers it then. Do you get what I'm saying? In 10 years.
And for City fans out there thinking, I'm not having a pop. It's a legitimate question, and I'd be happy to hear what City fans, response is to that, because this is the thing, isn't it? If it happens, does it taint it? So I get what you're saying, though, Mo.
Do you know why I was going to just reply yes straight away? Because I didn't even actually think of the way Mo put that. I didn't think of it because even if you hate Chelsea or not, that was a disgrace. That was that was a disgrace. But the reason why I was going to reply yes straight away, because Mo will know when I think this is how you pronounce it. Calciopoli with Juve.
No, Calciopoli is different. Calciopoli, they had tapes of them assigning referees and giving money to the referees as signer. That's okay. Man City building the club and cooking the books to catch up to Liverpool and Man United. And I'm not sure if you watched the Straight Facts with me and Terry, where I had it I had the most controversial thing that I'm not against what they did for whatever reason. That's for another episode, right? What Juventus did is literally assigning referees, having the referees a signer in their pocket. That if that happens, Man City will be banned from English football. Like Juventus were relegated and they were stripped of titles and all the stuff. But I don't think they're comparable at all, by the way, at all.
Fair. I'd say I didn't know that. From what you just said, I didn't have that knowledge, but I would have just said yes. As far as I've known, when Juve won them titles, I knew they had been stripped and whatnot. So I was just going to keep the same energy. But I'm not
know stripped for something else, so it's not comparable.
I'll be honest though. I mean, Roms, Potts, you'll say the same as well. You know, being rival fans, we will, won't we? Though, as rival fans, we will. It's just what fans do. Yeah, but you cheated. I think that's just the nature of a football fan, isn't it?
Because, yeah, but Dan, I will only say that if they actually have. Like, I just want this to come out.
Yeah, exactly that, 100%. And that's what I said at the start. If they are proven, you know, if it is proven, then of course that's the conversation. But
you all know that they did it. This is the irony for English fans, to be honest. You all know that they did it.
Because do you know why? You're spot on, because I think even if they are found not guilty, money talks. I just think they would just be able to come and say they still are.
I'm sorry. Let's just be blunt here. Yeah. Let's be blunt, right? Yeah. If we aren't here, right, and we don't want to, you all know that they actually did that. They built a club by spending money. By the way, I'm not shy to say it. And if anyone wants to say otherwise, you're just doing whatever makes you sleep at night. Literally, you're just looking at the mirror and you're just doing whatever makes you sleep at night. You know you did it. We all know you did it. And I'm not against it. I'm actually very happy they did it, right? Because they created another force in the sport. And I think the law was shit and the FFP was done wrong and it was stopped them to be big. And they didn't, by the way, and just one last thing, I know people want to move on. They didn't outspend the others by a lot. And it's very obvious. They just didn't. It's not that they spent 10 times more than Man United or
Liverpool. Look at us. We are the, us and Chelsea.
Yeah, so they didn't I would be against them if they went and spent 10 times what Man United spent. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you're not creating, it's not a fair competition here, right? But it was fair, but they just did it quicker than other teams.
Listen, I just wanted the likes of Newcastle.
Yeah, man. I just want it to come out and then we can move on from it and realize it. And if they are guilty, throw the book at them, absolutely. But until that, let's just concentrate on the football, man. Because it seems every week we're talking about 1-1-5. We're talking about Everton and Forest. We're talking about what's happening with Luton and if they're staying up because of it. Like, what is happening to the Premier League? What a shambles. If this is all we're talking about, it's a worry, man. Let me tell you. But moving away from the Premier League and the Champions League, FA Cup weekend, of course, is back. Something that, unfortunately, I can't celebrate. Chill out weekend for me. But Roms and Dan, huge game.
Who's that down to, Dan? I forgot. He was that down to. I'm being shameless. You got I'm being shameless.
Nah, listen, man. I obviously would normally want Liverpool to be dumped out, but excuse me, because they look like they're going to get quite a lot of trophies. But I need to see them playing as many games as possible now. So, but United, they badly need a trophy just to try and save some.
We won one last season, mate. You talk like we haven't had one for years and years. Come on, we're not.
But this season, man. Come on, this season, man. Wow, it ain't been fun for you, bro. Let me start with you, Dan. Like, it's at Old Trafford. It's a derby. It's a rivalry, and there's a trophy attached to it, man. So, can you give any glimmer of hope that Manchester United can turn up for this game? Surely they can turn up for this game, man. Come on.
Of course we can. It's 11v11, isn't it? You know, when you go back to basics. But unfortunately, we're facing Liverpool. I think the worst season possible, aren't we? You know, this is Klopp's farewell. This is the farewell, tour. Over 90 minutes, anything can happen. That is as positive as I can get for this weekend. We've got Rasmus Højlund back. That's massive. Can't believe I'm sat here saying this. We've got Harry Maguire back. That's massive. We've obviously had to play Sir Jonathan Evans of Manchester at the back a lot this season. Wan-Bissaka's potentially back, which means we're not playing putting Lindelof up against
How
Salah.
the mighty have fallen. How
It
the
would be
mighty
like
have
putting me in a
fallen.
race with Usain Bolt, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Is it Mount back as well? I see Mount training.
No, he's back after the international break, thank God. So yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? I'm going to cling on to the fact it is cup football and anything can happen. But I mean, you look at Liverpool the last sort of few weeks, what he's been able to do, and I'm not giving you too much flowers here, Roms, because I hate Liverpool so much. But
vice versa. There's no love.
yeah, exactly. You're a lovely guy, but I can't stand Liverpool. But what I have appreciated in watching Klopp this season is the way he's been able to integrate the youth in with the experience to keep you ticking when you've had a lot of injuries. And the youth have come in and they've not disgraced themselves. They've done fantastic. So it's going to be a big game on Sunday. It always is anyway, regardless of what form Manchester United are in. It's Manchester United against Liverpool. It's the FA Cup. It's massive. If Manchester United somehow pull it out of the bag, absolutely fantastic. But like I say to all Manchester United fans, it's all fair and well beating Liverpool. We've still got City in the competition, and we know how that went last time. So I think Manchester United fans have got to have a sense of realism this weekend. We cannot go into there thinking anything but we need to be solid. We need to be compact. It's as simple as that. Liverpool have so much in the armour at the moment. United are firing nothing. Rashford at the moment is so out of form. I've seen articles today saying, if he scores this weekend, it'll be 3-3 like he did last season. 3-3. Come on now. You know what I mean? Come on. Are we really sat here having that conversation about Rashford getting 3-3? So big game.
Can I quickly ask you, seeing as you brought up Rashford, can I very quickly ask you, would you sell him to PSG if the bid come in at 45 million plus or something?
Not 45 million. I've seen 70 be banded round. I'd drive him to the airport myself happily. I'd drive him there. I'd pay for his duty free. I'd pay for the baggage. If he's flying with Ryanair, I'd upgrade him. No problem. I'd send him some pocket money for the plane. 100% I'd sell him, because this summer, without delving too much into it, we need to have a massive restructure in that club. And I think selling players who don't have the right attitude has to be one of the first things we do. And it's pure profit for FFP as well if he goes.
Interesting, man. And like King Otto has said, does Ten Hag get a lifetime if he delivers 2 cups in 2 seasons?
I posed this question to you yesterday, Potts, and I'll pose it to Mo and to Roms. I got asked this question the other day. If Ten Hag somehow gets Champions League and wins the FA Cup, is this a good season for Manchester United?
No.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so glad someone else said it, because I was completely agree. I agree.
The reason why I would know, on paper it looks good. Top 4 got a trophy,
exactly,
but it's not sustainable. You have to look towards the future. It's not sustainable because again, it will be the same thing next season. And you'll probably regress again. Because if you look from last season to this season, what was it? Third and a trophy. Now you're flirting with around the 5th, battling to get 5th place / 4th with potentially no trophy. So I think it'll be more regression, but then the FA Cup and Champions League spot will paper over the cracks. So he still does.
And this is what I fear, though, as a Manchester United fan. This is where my fear comes in, my anxiety being a Manchester United fan, because it's like there will be. I've said this before. There's so much toxicity in every fan base. But you better believe if Ten Hag gets top 4 or Champions League, should I say, and an FA Cup, I think so many of the fans will say, this has been a success. We moved. Do you know what I mean? There's so much more that's gone wrong this season. Yes, you can put injuries into there, but Roms, you've had injuries. Do you know what I mean? Potts, you've had injuries to deal with. The style of play has been horrendous. I think he's looked out of his depth on more than one occasion. He's lost a lot of the players. I think it's been an absolute catastrophe. So I think it could be. I think it could hurt us more to get Champions League and win the FA Cup. That's my honest opinion.
Oh, imagine you win a trophy, get Champions League, and it's like, right, we need to start again. I think you do still. I think you say, do you know what? It's a nice way to finish on a high for you, Ten Hag. You still haven't proved that you can take us to the level that we need, because an FA Cup is not the level Manchester United need. A Carabao Cup is not the level. This is Man United. If it was Everton, you'd be like, oh, keep this guy. He's won us a trophy. This is not Everton Football Club. This is Manchester United.
Can I ask you something then? How long are we going to keep saying this is Manchester United?
Agree, completely agree. And I say this
what
a lot.
Does that even mean? What does that mean anymore?
What does that mean anymore? What
Do you know
does
what
that mean?
my joke
Does that
used
mean
to be
FA
about
Cup and
Liverpool?
Carabao Cup and changing
Yeah.
the manager every season? Is that listen?
11 years since
We have
since getting the Premier
Man
League
United.
title.
Man United are Inter. Okay. In terms of number of trophies, the number of league titles, Champions Leagues, the treble, and everything, and now the period that they're going through, we have been through this, and we kept saying the same. After the treble in 2010, right, we went to the quarterfinal of the Champions League, and then after this, it was just banter era. We just trash players coming in. We think this is going to be great, and then they turn out to be shit, and you have to sell them for scraps. And then you get the second guy. You change a manager every season. We sacked the manager after 6 games in the league once, Frank de Boer. Right, and we sacked Gasperini after 8. We kept saying as Inter fans, we are Inter. What are we doing? And then it kept getting worse and worse.
It's pure arrogance.
How long
pure arrogance.
are we gonna keep giving Manchester United that respect that they don't deserve? They just don't deserve it.
I think I am with you. I am with you. However, you do know that if they did get it right in terms of structure at the top, I honestly believe they could be back within a couple of seasons because they are that big of a club.
I agree with that. I agree. And do you know how you know it's possible, right? Because the Glazers were appointed in what I think bought the club in 2005. We've seen with a football structure with Sir Alex and etc. They can be successful under that ownership. You just have to have the football in pieces in place. So I agree with you, Dan Potts. 2-3 years time with footballing people, you can, and they're slowly starting to integrate that. But it has to start with Ten Hag going as well, because it's very rare that a new regime comes in and keeps the same manager anyway.
Here's the counter to this. We actually have never seen it. In our lifetime, we have never seen it. We've seen Man United only good for plenty of years, but that's it. We have not seen the giant getting up. The only one we have seen is Arsenal Football Club. And you can't say that Arsenal Football Club now Arsenal can go this season without a title and can go next season without a title. Right? Yes, they are. They are. Yeah, Arsenal. And Arsenal were not as big as Man United, all due respect. Like Man United dominated, right? Man United won a treble, Champions League finals. You know what I mean? Like won trebles. You know what I mean? 3 peats. You know what I mean? We haven't seen it. We are all assuming, in my opinion. We're all assuming.
Mo, would you say you've seen it with us though? Because when Hicks and Gillette went and FSG bought us in 2012, we were in the dump for a long time, but slowly we were putting things into place. So you could say you've seen it with us and at Arsenal as well.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, but the thing about it that for some you haven't come back to be a. This is what people don't understand. Man United come back. What Man United fans are talking about, they aren't talking about doing what Liverpool did. Every Man United fan I speak to, and I'm not sure about Dan, they talk about going back to the domination.
Dominant.
I have spoken to Man United fans and telling me if we get it right, we'll dominate again. I have, bro, big YouTubers, right? Fans, just normal. My friends here, like I play football, English guys here that are Man United fans. They're telling me with this Ineos, we'll get it right. I have heard it from my friend here who has been a Man United fan for over 35 years, plays football with me. He said, we'll dominate again. And I'm like, based on what? Based on what you're saying? He's like, we'll dominate again, I promise you. And he's telling me we're that big. And I'm like, I'm not disagreeing with you, but what's your evidence? Because of the name, because of the commercial value? Is that where we are now?
I've said this though to Potts on the Top 4 show. Manchester United fans have to have a sense of realism about what is going to be happening in the next few years. Manchester United fans think that Ineos, because they've come in and got Barada, they're looking at Ashworth. They think that okay, we've got those two coming in. So Jim's trying to get rid of certain players. It doesn't happen over 12 months. This is going to be something that is going to happen over 5-6 transfer windows. You cannot expect Manchester United, with all of the players that every fan says we need to get rid of, they're not good enough. They're nowhere near the. You cannot expect to get rid of 7 or 8 players, for example, and bring the same in and it click like that. It doesn't work like that. There is a lot of work that is needed at Manchester United, and this is something that won't happen overnight. It will have to be a gradual build because we've seen Chelsea try and do it. come in, spend $1 billion on players, all these long contracts. Right, we're going. We go again. It doesn't work like that. The Premier League is a different beast to what it was 10,
Can I ask
15
you
years
then,
ago.
Dan? Because you've sensibly said it's going to take time. Who would you rather have at the helm of that in terms of management? Because we believe Ashworth's going to come in with his guys, and obviously Ineos, and you've got Brady. Excuse me. Would you rather option A, De Zerbi takes you over and you go and have these windows and you try and play attractive football and you try a process like Arsenal have done? Or do you go and get Diego Simeone, chuck money at it and say, go and get us, make us competitive in the next 2 or 3 windows? Like what would you rather?
Honestly, I get so much stick for saying this, but I would take Diego Simeone in a heartbeat.
That's the correct answer, bro.
You want a manager who is going to come in and implement the desire, the attitude of what it takes to be a so-called Manchester United player. Do you know what I mean? You get someone that comes in and has his players go to war, like I've said before. I don't want a project in that sense. I want... If we're doing a project in the background, we need to make sure we get it right on the pitch. That has to happen in the background, and we need to make sure that we've got someone coming in sorting it on the pitch. And I think with Simeone, I think he comes in there. I think the likes of Bruno with the petulance that you see, I think he sorts this mess out. I don't think he takes any of the troubles that I think Ten Hag has experienced and Ollie experienced. I mean, you saw that interview with Ollie on the overlap. I was so angry as a Manchester United fan to hear him say that at half-time against Watford, knowing he was getting sacked, he said, whoever wants to play, play. Whoever doesn't want to play, come off. Who comes off? Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial. The attitude that we've had and we've seen in players at Manchester United for far too long now has been one of the bigger problems. And people will blame it on managers. People will level it on the managers. They never seem to go for the players. It's only now Manchester United fans are starting to wake up and say, Rashford ain't all that, you know. The attitude isn't there. So it's got to be the right manager coming in. It has to be. And I tell you what, if we bring Potter in, my God, honestly, this hair will be gone. It will be pulled out. It will be patchy. We cannot allow that to happen.
You're spot on, because most United fans I speak to echo your thoughts. They want Simeone. And managers like Simeone, the club don't interview them. They interview the club. How much money am I getting? Can this player needs to go? If that, you're saying that player can stay, cool, I won't take the job then. Everything has to be on his terms. So I actually understand with the point. And you're not the only, I'll tell you about 90% of the United fans I speak to want Simeone. They want Simeone. They want Simeone.
No, but to be honest with you, I actually have it the other way. I actually said to Terry, I said, actually, Man United aren't attractive as before to coaches from the top-notch ones. Why would you leave Atletico Madrid to go to Man United? And I said, why would Inzaghi go to Manchester unless they offer him triple his wage? For Simeone, that's out of the window.
It's only this.
You can never offer Simeone. I don't think even Man United can offer Simeone the same wage. The guy makes 40 million euros.
But he's the highest paid, isn't he?
He's the highest
One
paid.
of the highest paid.
So I think Simeone, if he goes to Man United, there has to be a magician at Man United to convince him to take that job. Why would he leave Atletico Madrid after 12 years of managing the club, or 13 years? Why would Inzaghi leave Inter? They are talking about renewing his contract and increasing his wage, unless Man United offer him 15 million. And I think if Man United do that for any coach, by the way, offer him 3-4 year contract with 50 million pounds, we're going to look at this ownership and say, you're stupid again. What are you doing? You're offering something that is not guaranteed. And then you will have to be hit with FFP later if you want to sack the guy.
But Mo, I think that the ownership, when it comes to management, I think they want to hide him to nothing anyway. Because at the moment, people are saying get rid of Ten Hag, but then we're hearing the rumours that they want the likes of Potter coming in. I think they have got such a tough job in their hands. More, I think, but I mean, obviously not as much as I think Liverpool do. I think Liverpool have, management-wise, the biggest job this summer. They have to get that spot on, because all the work that Klopp has done for that club and building what he's done, you know, he's brought them back to where they, you know, quite rightly should be at the top, competing. They have to get that so right this summer.
The only silver lining with that is I 100% agree with you, but this is why I love how my club are proactive now. You can say what you want about FSG, but they're like, you know what? We had a good relationship, me and Edwards. Let's try and wheel him back in, because we started conversation before Christmas. He was a bit coy in it. He wanted more assurances. We gave him that assurances. Now he signed up then, and Also, the director from Bournemouth is coming along with him.
Yeah,
I forgot his name off the top of my head. Someone in the chat can help me out. But we're kind of putting things into place. But I completely understand. I always said I need a sporting director before a manager. But the manager appointment is still key. But I think you need to get the sporting person in first, and we have. Now the manager's yet to see. I think the two main names are Alonso and Amorim, but we'll let's see. I've said this summer, I think the manager market will be bigger than the player market because they're just going to be on reverse. It's going to be crazy.
That's the problem. Why would anybody choose Man United over Liverpool, for example? What's the point? Like, why would you choose?
No, like you said, the only way United for me attract managers is money. That's literally it.
And that's a contradiction, isn't it? Because Manchester United's new owners have come in and said,
we are
not that club
we aren't spending money.
Yeah. So I think straight away, if you were to, you'd be like, well, you're hypocrites then. The family was looking at them like, you're being hypocrites. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Who do you want, Roms, to replace Klopp? Alonso.
No, I think Alonso, it might be a bit too early for him. I think we had this conversation. I remember having a conversation on Mer. I don't know if it was this channel or elsewhere. I've always said Flick. Some people don't agree. Some people do. But I've just seen that he's got the experience. I know his second year at Bayern wasn't the greatest, but be coming into a Liverpool team, Salah will probably be gone. I know there's talks that he may stay one more year. Me personally, I think he goes, but you still have a Robbo, you still have a Trent, you still have a Van Dijk. And at Bayern Munich, he kind of had that spine in your Thomas Müller, your Manuel Neuer. I think Hummels just before he went back to Dortmund. You had your Lewandowski's who'll be coming into a team full of experienced players mixed with youth. And he's kind of worked with that similar ilk at Bayern. So for me, he was my number one. I think Alonso, I kind of want him to make mistakes at another club just before he comes to Liverpool. I do want him to come Liverpool manager eventually, but not straight from Leverkusen to Liverpool. Amorim, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know if you know Tom Little. He loves him. He's been campaigning for Amorim for years, but I don't know enough of him. I've watched sporting here and there, but I can't give my opinion on him. I need to still do research, but mine was Flick. The minute Klopp announced his decision to leave, for me, it's Andy Flick.
Yeah, I think Man United should be looking at Flick and then Alonso Liverpool. I don't know. I think Alonso could do it at Liverpool, man. I really do. I've been so impressed with him, man.
I have no doubt, but I'd rather it be in years to come and not just yet. Not just yet.
Do you not think he goes to Munich? Do you not think he picks Munich?
Maybe he does. Maybe.
The thing is, me and Mo had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. To make it easier for him, he does. Because if he goes Munich, he's guaranteed that league. I know they're probably not going to win it this year at the expense of Alonso, but you're guaranteed of league titles there. Where Liverpool, you're up against the juggernaut of Arsenal and City now. I don't think any other team. I think if he comes to Liverpool, it'll still be Arsenal and City. Arsenal and City will be there again next season. There's no guarantee we will, because the potential loss of Salah, Klopp leaving, but he'll be coming into a much harder job. And then I remember Mo posed the question to me, what would be better for his career? And it's like, is it risk or reward? If he comes to Liverpool and does something massive, it's a big risk, but the reward will be greater. But if you go to a Bayern, you kind of know what you're getting with him, but it's safer, it's better for your CV. You build your trophy, because 2 back-to-back Bundesligas with Bayern Munich and Leverkusen, that's very good to have in your resume. So I think Bayern would be easier, but Liverpool would be more of the challenge. So yeah,
I love what you said there, Roms, and I've not thought of it like that. About we've not seen him make his mistakes yet, have we?
Exactly.
It's all been that, hasn't it? We haven't seen anything. So yeah, it's good point. It's a good point.
Listen, we're gonna wrap because Mo has got a stream and you're gonna be redirected to him. Before we go, prediction, boys. Rom, start with you. Liverpool United.
Again, I just realised we didn't really speak too much on the Liverpool side of the game. But look, I'm not going to be naive. Old Trafford's is always tough. Other than that 5-0 win, even in our good teams, we were drawing there quite. I think we had back-to-back draws. But we beat United. I know Højlund's back. I know Martinez is back. But they're at the worst I've seen. One of the worst I've seen in my lifetime. I'm not going to say it's going to be a batter in that 4-5. I see someone in the comments saying we're going to batter them. I don't think it'll be that. It is FA Cup, but I think we beat United comfortably. I'll say 3-1. I'll say we beat them 3-1.
Mo?
Yeah, I'd say this the other way around.
I don't know. I don't know who I want to lose, to be honest. I think Man United winning will be more fun for me, so I'll pick Man United win. I'm expect 2-1 Man United. It'll be
2-1
fun. It'll
Man
be fun
United.
for content. It'll be fun for conversation. It'll be fun to actually talk to Man United fans and see that Ten Hag thing come out of the bushes. You know what I mean? Yeah, like rising again. I love
Dan?
that.
Does Sam clip these shows? Because I've fallen foul of this before.
Nah,
You know.
just
I've
say it.
fallen
I won't
foul of
tell him.
this
I
before.
won't tell him.
I said 2-2 before the 7-0 loss last season, and I've been hurt before here, but I don't know why, but I'm going to be stupid. I'm going to be reckless because it's my club and we're Manchester United, and I'm going to go 2-1 Manchester United. It's the FA Cup. It's the magic of the cup. That's what I'm going to go for.
It's not stupid. You can't back your arch rivals over your club. You just can't. Even if you deep down know, you just can't go out and say that. So yeah,
it's hard, man. It's hard to do. I think it'll be 3-1 Liverpool. But Dan, you know,
Potts, by the way, if Sam clips this up and has me clipped up, I will find out where he lives and I'll egg his house. Simple as that. Simple as that. Don't think I won't drive down there.
Absolutely, man. Mo, to see us out, is interseason now over? Considering
Well, it's done now. Come on, it's over.
It's done. It's
We
over.
Are you
won
still
the
in the
league.
Coppa? Are you still in the Coppa Italia, Mo?
No, he gave up the cup
Fair.
for the league and for.
And Jamie says Madrid versus PSG final. Does Mbappe get a late injury? Wow, that would be unbelievable. Like Mo said, would it be the Mbappe story going into that game? Listen, we're out of here, people. Make sure you stay tuned. Redirecting to Mo, who's got a show now. So make sure that you stay put and go join Mo over there. Big up. Take it easy. We're out of here. Peace.